welcome to another edition of the Mile High Real Estate Spotlight Podcast. And today's just going to be just a fantastic day. Just so excited because not every time when I work with real estate agents or I talk with people that are in this world that I get to talk with one of my passions, which is investing. And as you'll see, today's guest specializes about at least 50% of all the real estate stuff that he does is in investing. And so if you've been thinking about investment properties, we talk about generational wealth all the time here. You're thinking about how do I turn something that I have into more money coming in? How do I create that generational wealth? How do I create personal wealth for myself? I was reading a story just the other day where a gentleman said, well, I've moved out of my mom's house. You'll appreciate this, Evan, when I was 31 years old. Like I moved out of my mom's house when I went to college and never went back. But he decided to stay till he was 31 years old. But what he did between the time he graduated college and the time that he hit 31 is he started buying real estate, selling real estate, buying real estate, selling real estate. And he did up to like 25 properties and saved all of his money. His parents said, you can stay here as long as you want. I don't know what the house looked like where he's want. But by the time he was ready to get married and the time he had over, I think he said $20 million already saved up at 31 because he was just buying and selling real estate. And we underestimate the power of real estate sometimes. We really do. We get into these little bottles and we see these shows on TV where they're flipping and fixing and you think, well, that is way too much. Plus, I don't know anything about construction or building. But what I'll tell you, it just starts with a thought of I want to learn this. And there's a really good book out there called Who Not How. Or I should say it the other way, right? Yeah, it's who not how. And so figuring out who you got to talk to instead of what you got to do and how you got to do it is most important. And so Evan is that person, right? So today you're going to call Evan after you finish listening to this and you're going to find out the how later because he's the who, right? And so Evan, I just appreciate you being on today. I love the fact that that you're in Colorado, that you're doing this and you're helping families out in this way. So at first, if you could just tell people exactly how to get a hold of you, whether it's, social media or emails or phone, and then we'll go into your story and really kind of delve into or dive into this investing way of making money in real estate business.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. You can get a hold of me. You can call me 720-695-5018. Call me, text me. My email address is Evan, EVAN, Rice, RICE, at realatlas.com. And then one of my buddies who's a client of mine, we're making a website for me before the end of the year. So I don't have the website address yet, but I'll have it here soon. But I'm old school, so text, email is the best way to get a hold of me.
Yeah, and you don't need a website to get in investing and start getting property and thinking about that. So tell us about how did you get involved in the whole real estate world? I mean, what was your life? Where did you come? First, tell me where you grew up and that kind of stuff, so we can just hear who you are.
Well, I'm actually from Evansville, Indiana, which is in southern Indiana. Beautiful place to be from. I'm glad I don't live there anymore, but a good place to be from. Then went to school in Kentucky, then to Chicago, then out to Denver like 13 years ago. How I got into real estate, I was in sales, selling electrical stuff to manufacturing companies, very boring. Then COVID happened and I'd always kind of been in real estate, interested in real estate. And luckily enough for me, I was introduced to some really successful investors. And I said, hey guys, I want to be like you. What do I do? And this guy's name is Micah Coles. He said, go get your real estate license. So I got my license. I called him back and I said, hey, Micah, I got my license. I'm going to sign with this brokerage. I won't name any names. And he said, Evan, he goes, if you sign with that brokerage, I'll never talk to you again.
What?
And I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, look, if you want to be an investor, you need to go work with investors who do deals, who own real estate, and who know the investment game. So again, luckily enough for me, he was friends with Ryan Boykin, who's the founder of our company, got me an interview with Ryan and Mike Hills, who's the VP of our brokerage. And they hired me. And it's been the best professional thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And the power of association, right? They say who we're going to become in the next few years is going to be based on two things: the books and tapes and podcasts and stuff that we listen to, and the people that we hang around with. And so I love the fact. I mean, it's scary when somebody says, "I'll never talk to you again," but probably one of the best things to get you to move towards the goal of having these associations and being around people and being and finding out about this industry and making it work. And with this podcast, I try to make sure that I do it with folks that are making it happen, that are being successful, that are getting it done. And I just love the fact that those are the road that you take. And just thinking about what does your future look like? Like who else are you going to be introduced to, as you get going and moving, and you already are. I know Atlas is across from the stadium, and so you probably get to, folks coming in all the time. Yeah, I can even think of the sign off the 25, right?
Yeah,
That I've
yeah.
seen many times. So kind of tell us about Atlas and you and how that intertwines and some of the things that you do, and even maybe give us an example of a client that you've been able to help, through this process.
Totally. Well, Atlas Real Estate is a very unique brokerage and a unique company. We have two main parts of our company. One is property management, and the other is brokerage. Our CEO, hopefully, will give me a pat on the back for saying this, but our mission statement at Atlas is we want to uplift humanity through real estate. And a lot of times, companies have these mission statements, and that's just lip service. But
Mhm.
we live that and we believe it and we work on that every day in Atlas. And what we mean by that is we want to engage in what we call a virtuous cycle. So we manage over 10,000 doors across all of our markets, which are Colorado, Utah, Arizona, Kansas, Missouri, Nevada, and there might be a couple others we're opening up early next year. But we want to turn our renters into homeowners, and then from homeowners into investors, because we just believe in the power of real estate and its ability to uplift humanity. So that's kind of what we're about at Atlas. And then more specifically, I said we're very investor focused. So essentially, my job is to go find investors, people that want to buy and hold real estate, whether that's a single family or small multifamily. Kind of our niche is 2 to 12 units. So find those investors, understand what they can buy, what they want to buy, and then we, meaning me and my team, we go find deals in our markets that match their criteria. We'll underwrite the deal. We'll show them their return on investment numbers, years 1 through 20, present that to them and say, hey, Brian, you said you wanted to buy a 6-unit deal in Kansas City that's a 5.5% cap rate. Here's that deal. Here are the numbers. And if you're like, Evan, that looks great. I want to buy that. Then we will help you buy it. And then after you buy it, Brian, we'll manage it for you and we'll send you the money at the end of each month. So we try to make it as passive as possible. And because we're the property managers, man, we got to do a really good job, because I'm going to be hearing from you every month if something goes wrong. So that's kind of what we're about at Atlas.
Oh, and I love that fact where the pathway goes from renter to homeowner to investor,
Yep.
because so many people stop at we just got to get you into a home, and then you get you into a home, but how do you start creating that wealth that is so important for folks without having some type of investment? And
Yep.
I tell people this all the time: you cannot save your way into wealth.
Yeah.
You just can't. You just can't put enough money away to be able to say, hey, I'm going to become wealthy because I'm a great saver. You have to be able to be willing to take some of the risk that are out there, but the rewards of those risks are so incredible. Kind of give an example of maybe one of the clients you helped that, through this process.
Yeah. So his name is Scott. My wife actually used to work with his wife, and they were talking, and my wife was telling his wife about, hey, Evan's in real estate, and Scott's wife was like, well, wow, he's really interested in real estate as well. So we connected. Scott came to me. We had a good conversation. He told me about his goals, and he wanted to own 3 investment properties by 2023. So we meet I got to understand what his purchasing criteria was, what his financial goals were, and we went to work. We actually got him 3 duplexes in Greeley, Colorado over the years of 2022 and 2023. Um, all 3 deals cash flowing, 0% vacancy. And I think moving forward, he wants to buy 1 deal per year. And this is a guy that just understands the benefits and the future wealth building benefits that real estate offers. So this guy gets it, and we hit it off really well. And super thankful to my wife actually for making that introduction, but super thankful for Scott and the fact that he trusts me to help him do these deals.
Oh, I love it. Did he have a reason for three? I mean, was it like I want to have 3 properties by 23? Was it because 23 ended in 23, or is just he had this plan that he'd already put together that said, "Hey, I want to have these units." What was the goal there? Where'd that come from?
I think it was kind of subjective, honestly. He had a little bit of money. He's a stock market guy, so he had some money saved up, and I think we might have came to that 3 deal number together based on his financial situation.
Mhm.
But I think it was rather subjective on his part, but we were able to get it done for him.
Oh, I love it because if you have a plan and you start with a plan and you put a number out there, then now that's a goal that you can go after, right? If the goal is I want to have a house someday, then probably someday you'll have one. But how about define that and say, no, I want to have a house in 2024. I want it to have whatever it is. And by 2025, I want to have, my first investment property. And then, like you said, one a year for the next how many years? Most likely, just our reticular activator, our system that finds things in our brains, will make sure that those things come to pass, but we have to put it down. But I think
Exactly.
there's so many people that will hear this or will watch this or will see it and go, okay, well, I don't even know where to start. And,
Yeah.
and what I'm going to say where to start is to call you, right? To call you. You already know how to put these plans together, right? Eventually they'll call me because they're going to need to get lending and stuff for it.
Right.
But the first is that goal setting uh, conversation that you were able to have, and then to be able to put dates and define that.
Yep.
Um, which I think is so good. One of the things that I ask all of my guests is about superpowers. And if you could come up with a superpower in this game, that would be any superpower, what would that be? And then tell us what you think your superpower is. What is it you've been able to do that makes you so exceptional?
Ma'am, if I could have one superpower in this real estate game, it would be the ability to predict the future.
Woo!
You know what I mean? So we
Yeah.
can identify those paths of development a
Mhm.
few years before they actually start to happen and put our investors in those markets and buy real estate there. So it'd be the ability to predict the future. Um, Clearly, I have 0 real superpowers, but I think what has been a big contributor to the success that I've been able to have is just communication, communicating with list agents, communicating with clients.
Mhm.
One of my mentors, her name's Becca Scott. She works here at Atlas. When I first started, she said, Evan, you should never write an offer if you don't know if it's going to be accepted or not. And what she meant by that is don't just write offers before calling list agents. That's terrible. Like, call the list agent, figure out what the seller's goals are, what they're looking for in an offer, what it's going to take to get the deal done. And if you can write that offer, write it. If you can't, don't waste that agent's time. So that has really been a driving force in all the deals that I've been able to do.
Yeah, I've never even thought about that as far as, making sure to make an offer that is going to be accepted. How important would that be? And I've always said, make sure you call the selling agent, find out as much as you can, do your homework. And I would say the people who win in this game do that. It's the ones that are just kind of, winging it there, oh, this is what you say you want to buy it for, right?
Yeah.
Because most of I'm not saying most of, but you think of the sophistication of the borrower, the reason that they come to you is because they need help, right? If they did need help, they would just do it themselves. So they come to you for this expertise, and then sometimes, folks just go, well, what do you want to offer? Without being able to give them that guidance. And it sounds like you've already had those conversations. This is a house that they love. This is the thing that they want or they want to use as an investment, which are two different things. There's one house that you're going to live in and spend a whole bunch of time in, and there's one that you want to make money at, right? I mean,
That's right.
which, and you can't look, I'm sure you have that conversation because you can't look at the same eyes, right? You can't love the home that you're renting out. Because if you do, then you're never going to find the right person to rent. Right? Am I correct on that? I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, yeah. I mean, look, the numbers don't lie. From an investment rental perspective, the numbers don't lie. And we try to take the emotion out of those deals. Obviously, when it's an owner occupant type deal, emotions can and maybe even should be a part of the deal. But yeah, from an investment standpoint, you got to take the emotions out of it and just let the numbers dictate the decision making. But it comes down, it's a respect thing when you're doing these deals. Like, I want to respect the list agent's time. I want to respect their seller's time and my client's time. I don't want to waste anybody's time. Time is the most valuable asset we have. So why would I want to waste anybody's time? So that's comes down to respect for me.
absolutely. And you can't give time back, right? Once it's gone, it's gone.
That's right.
You talked about some of the people that you have associations with, and I think through the gems of my life of what I've learned from people who are way more successful than myself and have made roads. What would you say that you've learned? And I think you gave us, part of one. But what have you learned from somebody that has been your mentor, been, in this field for a long time, that you could say you could definitely pass on to, either a borrower or a client, or even maybe another fellow real estate agent that would watch this? And I know they're your competition, but at the same time, we want
Yeah,
this. There's so many there's so many out there that you can't have that lack mentality.
for
What
sure.
do you think that would be?
I love that question, and a bunch of things pop into my head.
Hmm.
But I think the biggest thing that I've been taught, and Ryan Boykin, our CEO, preaches this a lot: get out of your comfort zone. Like,
Hmm.
my success, and frankly, a lot of agents and investors and lenders, a lot of their success is going to be dictated by how much, how frequently they get out of their comfort zone. If I stay in my little bubble all day, every day, I might do okay, but I'm not going to be super successful and able to provide an abundant life for my family and hopefully my clients if I'm not getting out of my comfort zone every day. So I think it starts there. And then I'm also very blessed to love what I do.
Hmm.
So I wake up in the morning, and most of the time I'm pretty fired up to go look at some deals and help people analyze real estate. So look, if you can find something that you love to do, and my dad taught me this, if you can find something you love to do, you don't really work a day in your life because you enjoy doing it, and you're going to be 1,000 times more successful if you love what you're doing. So get out of your comfort zone and try to find something that you really enjoy doing.
I love it. So now on we talk about risk, and real estate being a risk, right? If I invest in an investment property, there is a risk on my return. But on a scale of like 1 to 10, saying 10 being the most riskiest thing you could do, maybe borrowing money from a loan shark to gamble, that would probably, I don't think it's something more risky than that. You know, to one being I'm putting my money in a no interest bearing savings account. There's no risk in that at all, right? Or under my mattress is even less risk. It's the risk of somebody breaking in and finding it. Where would you say on the scale that the investing in real estate is, and why? What are some of the factors that make it at that risk level, and and helping people tolerance? Because I know you say it's important to get out of your comfort zone. So
Yeah.
just trying to give some facts behind the emotions of getting out of that comfort zone.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And okay, 1 is low risk, 10 is high risk, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say it's a 2.5. And here's why. If you have the right agent, the right broker, the right property manager, the right team around you helping you make these decisions, then you
Yes.
can take a lot of risk out of it. Now, life and investing is inherently risky,
Mhm.
but like I said, if you've got the right team surrounding you and you
Yeah.
trust them that they're looking out for your best interest, you can remove and mitigate a lot of that risk. And time in real estate is your best friend.
Mhm.
Um, I can think of a mistake I made early in my career with one of my dear friends. Basically, we bought a property in Kansas that was a little more risky than we should have bought, but we've got it mostly occupied now. It's mostly rented, and if we can just wait it out, so he's making a little bit of positive cash flow every month. If we can just wait it out, it's going to turn into a good investment for him. So time, when you're in the real estate game, investing game, can be your best friend, because if you just buy it and you hold it, chances are you're going to win in the long run.
Yeah, because most likely you look over time, investing in years, you look at the stock market, yes, it goes up, but real estate has a steady climb over, a long period of time. You say time is your
Yep.
friend, but here's one that I'd love you to answer too is time your friend if you wait? Because
No.
there's a cost to waiting.
Yeah.
And I think, people, well, I want to wait till the interest rates go down, or I want to wait till, properties, go down, or I want to wait till, the sun comes up on the on the south or something. Whatever people come up with reasons to wait. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Why wait?
Well, look, I want to be careful because I hear some agents, I won't say a lot of agents,
Hmm.
that they say, hey, it's always a great time to buy. It's
Hmm.
always a great time to sell. And I would say if your agent is telling you that, you should be very skeptical.
Okay.
It is, it can be a great time to buy at all times if you can buy the right property with the right terms. Um, but look, it's not always a good time to buy. If you have a good team, a good agent, a good lender who can help you buy the right deal with the right terms, then I could make an argument that yes, it is almost always a good time to buy. But there's a lot that goes into that. And if you think you're going to time the market, then I want to be your friend and I want to get to know you so that you can help me time the market too. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Nobody can predict the future. And anybody that says they can is lying.
Hmm.
So I would say that it is, again, I probably sound like a broken record here, but if you have the right team surrounding you and you find the right deal that you can afford comfortably, then yeah, I can make an argument that it's almost always a good time to buy.
Yeah, there's like you said, and it's got to be the right property. It's not always a good time to buy any one particular property, but if you think of the entire United States that we have that is availability to us, then you think of the entire world that sometimes has the availability to you. There can be that right deal, but you also have to be ready, right?
Yeah.
You have to have your ducks in a row. You don't have to have the ducks that you think you have to have in a row. And I prove that time and time again as I just do down payment assistance programs. Well, I have to have 20% down in order to be able to buy a house. Well, no, you don't.
Right.
There's visibilities. We just closed one the other day where I had assistance of $35,000 available on a $400,000 house. So for that person to be able to move in, they have the income to move in. They didn't have the down payment they needed, but we were
Sure.
able to, find with other people the ability to do that. And so there are so many things out there right now that people don't realize that are there that can help to make that moment that is the right time at the right place.
And I'm glad you said it. That's, you got to have the right team surrounding you. You got to have the right lender. You got to have the right agent so you can be educated on how the process works and what you can buy, what you shouldn't buy, et cetera. So that's a really cool story.
So I come to Evan and I say, Evan, I think I want to invest. I really don't know what I'm doing. I've watched a whole bunch of shows or I've listened to a whole bunch of podcasts. It says that I need to go find somebody who's good at this. What can somebody who comes to you expect? What that you're going to give them? What's the service that is, most of the time paid by the person who's selling, but maybe, in your case, there might be some things that are in there. But what would be the expectation coming to you to help them find investment property
Yeah.
or regular property too? I mean, this
Yeah.
is just
I
investment.
mean, look, they can expect the truth from me.
Okay.
Honesty first and foremost, and then they can expect. I'm passionate about real estate, and I'm passionate about what real estate can do for people. So they can expect me to help them tell the truth about what they can do based on what their goals are. So it's not a one size fits all solution. So it really kind of depends on what the person is looking to do. But if they say, hey Evan, I'm curious about investing, I'm going to tell them how real estate is superior, almost objectively, to the stock market because you can use leverage and you've got multiple ways to make money: appreciation, cash flow, debt pay down. So we'll explain that. I can show them deals, real world examples of deals that I've done, that my clients have done, and how those deals have impacted their wealth situation.
Hmm.
So that's what they could expect.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So we're kind of coming down on time. So I want you to make sure that you tell everybody again, one, how to get a hold of you. And then if there's any other closing thoughts that you would love to leave with, anybody who would watch this or want to call you, things, gems that, that they could take and go, wait, let me write that down.
Yeah.
Yeah. How to get a hold of you again.
Well, again, I'm old school. Call me, text me, email me. So my phone number is 720-695-5018. And my email address is Evan, EVAN, period, Rice, RICE, at realatlas.com. And man, just closing thoughts is figure out your why. Like, what's your why? Like, what I've noticed about the super successful people,
Mm-hmm.
they have the strongest why. Why are you getting out of bed every morning? Why are you hustling every day? What's your why? And if you got a strong why, you're probably going to be willing to do stuff that other people aren't willing to do, which is going to set you up for success, whatever that looks like for you. So that's what I would say.
Absolutely. I always say, do what other people aren't willing to do so you can have what other people don't get to have.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that is so important. What I love about you, this is fun, Evan, because you said I'm old school. Text me, and to think that texting is old technology. I can remember before we even had cell phones, and we had to use maps to actually get somewhere.
If I had to use a map to get around, I'd be lost my whole life.
Oh my gosh, I was living in LA, and the book just for like I guess of the Inland Empire was this thick, and you had to like go to the grid and look it up, and then you took 10 minutes just looking it up on the map before you could even leave your house. So
I'd,
I
I'd
love
be
it.
a
I love
lost
it.
puppy, man. I'm
Yes.
directly challenged.
Yes. So here's what I'd say. If you are interested in or even thinking about investing, Evan is a call that you need to make. It is so important that, and I say this often, is you can do this, right? It is something that every individual that has our society that is able to live here has the ability to do. The issue most of the time is you just don't know. You don't know how. You need to find the who. Like I said before,
Yeah.
Evan is that who. You deserve this. We live in probably one of the greatest countries that has the ability to create income and personal wealth for people in the history of mankind, and it's available to you right now with opportunities that have never been available before and better than they've been able before. So you deserve this. And then the last thing is, let us help you do it. Let us help you figure out what it is that you need to do, whatever that plan is, whatever that portion of your world that you go, I'm just scared. That is okay. In fact, that's what we want you to be. We want you to come in saying, I want to learn this. I want to understand this. And I'm a little bit scared, because then that allows us to really be able to just feed into you some things and some ideas and some concepts that will then probably take that fear away and get you started in this path. So thank you again, Evan. I would love to have you back again, at some
Yeah.
point, maybe with another client or
Yeah.
with maybe somebody that you've helped, or one of your mentors even that could come and just give us some more knowledge. So even in a couple months we will come back and revisit this. And I'm just excited that people are going to be able to watch this and be able to learn from it. So thank you for being here for another part of the Mile High Real Estate Spotlight podcast. And this, I guess, I'm Brian Arnold, and we'll look forward to seeing you two. You guys have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome. This is Brian Arnold, and if you are listening to this part, you've just watched one of our episodes of the Mile High Real Estate Spotlight, where we've just talked to one of the best of the best. And I want to thank whichever guest that was here. They are phenomenal. They are amazing. They are the top of the top, the best of the best that are in our industry that are here with us today. And so I encourage you to please call them, pick their brains. They work for you. They enjoy working for you. They are incredibly good at it. And so I want to make sure that you give them a call. So whoever you listen to, whichever one you saw that you were there, please do that. The other thing is everyone deserves a home. Everyone deserves a home. I say that at the end of my show. You deserve it. Let us help you do it. My goal is to make sure that we see homeownership. It just sickens me to see apartment complexes continue to go up, because I know those are people who haven't been able to make the call or figure out a plan. So let us help put that plan together for you. I have some websites that allow you to do that, and I'll put those in the bottom, but please do. I am a lender. I do work in the lending space. If you do not already have somebody who's pre-qualified you, I would love to be able to have that opportunity to earn your business and qualify you. My number is 720-682-2223. That's 720-682-2223. Give me a call anytime, and I would love to be able to help you with that. We also do living trust. And so when we think about an estate, to try to avoid probate and make sure that doesn't happen. So whether it's if you own a home, and you should have a living trust. And I will say that everyone not just deserves it, everyone needs a living trust if they own a home. And then finally, just wanted to thank you for watching these episodes. And so please tune into more. Would love for you to see and be able to shop around. So thank you for doing that. Again, I want to make sure that you know that you can do this. You deserve this. And let us help you make it happen. You guys have an awesome, wonderful, awestruck, incredible day today.